So in this video, we're still looking at algebra, but this time, two-step equations. Now, the one-step equations were called that because there was only one step in them. This time, two-step equations, there's two steps in them. Pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at what one would look like, and then we'll talk about how you can solve it. So here's the type of question we're looking at. 3x plus 4 equals 19. And hopefully you can see the difference here. 3 times x plus 4. Now remember what the goal is when it comes to algebra. We need to get x by itself. We need it all by itself on one side. Now in previous times when we've tried this, we've only had one thing with x. BOMDAS. Now you would have learnt this because BOMDAS is the order of operations. Brackets, order, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. And you would have learnt this before when you were doing equations, when you were adding things and multiplying things and there were more than one step involved. BOMDAS is not quite what we want though, because algebra is kind of like taking an equation and doing it backwards, undoing what's already been done. For instance, x was multiplied by 3 and then it was added to 4 and that's equal to 19. And we need to undo all of that to find out what x is. So we don't use BOMDAS. We use the opposite of BOMDAS. Sad mob. Such a great word to remember. A sad mob of people. So if you're going to do order of operations with the stuff that you've done before, BOMDAS is the way that you do it. But if you're going to do algebra, we do things in the sad mob order. That means that first we do subtraction and addition. That's the first step. Then we do multiplication and division. And then we do order. And then we do brackets. So we do it in the sad mob order, not the BOMDAS order. So, first thing we need to do, subtraction and addition. Now, which one of these is subtraction and addition? Well, it's the plus 4. And the plus 4 is the thing that we need to get rid of first. So how do we get rid of a plus 4? We do the opposite of plus 4. So that's going to be 3x plus 4. And then we get rid of the plus 4 with a minus 4. And whatever we do on the left-hand side, we have to do on the right-hand side, so we do minus 4. So that means that 3x plus 4 minus 4, those 4's are going to cancel out, and we're left with 3x. And 19 minus 4, that's going to leave us with 15. So, we've done the subtraction addition part here. So we've already done this bit. Now we can move on to the next bit of sad mob. Division and multiplication. 3x equals 15. This is something you've seen before. This is something that you guys have already done. 3 times x equals 15. How do we get rid of 3 times? We do the opposite of that, divide. 3 times x divided by 3. And whatever we do to the left-hand side, we've got to do to the right-hand side. 15 divided by 3. Those 3's are going to cancel out. So we're left with an x here. And then 15 divided by 3, that's going to be 5. So, think about what happened. We had an equation, 3x plus 4 equals 19. We didn't know what x was, so we used sad mob to get rid of the 4, then get rid of the 3. Now we know that x is equal to 5. That's a two-step equation. I'm going to do one more really quick. So here's my second example. X divided by 5 minus 2 equals 4. This is a two-step equation. You can see that there's two things that are stopping us from x being by itself. There's a divide by 5 and there's a minus 2. So we need to get rid of both of them. This is where we use our sad mob. The first thing we need to do is deal with subtraction and addition. You can see that there's a minus 2 there, so we need to get rid of it. What's the opposite of minus 2? Plus 2. And we need to do that on both sides. Minus 2 plus 2 equals 4 plus 2. You can see I've added 2 to both sides here. That means that minus 2 and plus 2 are going to cancel out. And on this side, we're going to be left with x divided by 5. And on this side, 4 plus 2 equals 6. Now, we've got a simple one-step equation. X divided by 5 This is the division and the multiplication part of SAD mob. Divided by 5, the opposite of divide by is multiply. X divided by 5 times 5 equals 6 times 5 equals, the 5's cancel out, so we have x on this side, and 6 times 5 equals 30. So, in the initial equation, x divided by 5 minus 2 equals 4. If we put a 30 in there, 30 divided by 5 equals 6, minus 2 equals 4. Awesome, we got the right answer. So when you're doing two-step equations, there's only one thing you need to keep in mind. SAD mob, SAD group of people. Okay, that's two-step equations.